Hi everybody, welcome to this week's girls basketball edition of LMP's Court Report. I'm Keith Schweigert, joined by LMP girls basketball beat writer Tim Gross. Tim, the Lancaster-Lebanon League schedule tipped off last Friday with a full slate of crossover games, and there were a lot of interesting results. Tell us what games stood out for you.
The one that stood out the most was Elko coming back to win on the road at Lebanon Catholic. They were down 6 points after the third quarter, and really came on strong at the end and pulled it out in overtime. And that was a big win over a Lebanon Catholic team that's pretty good for as small as a school as it is. So that was a big game. The other one I was really interested in was the one I went to, was a Township in Lebanon. And Lebanon held off Township by a point. Alexis Hill scored 14 points in the fourth quarter, but it was a really good team win for Lebanon. Hill was actually out for some of the second half in foul trouble, and Lebanon really did a good job at controlling the pace, slowing the game down when they needed to, and pushing it when they needed to. And Ben Brewer said Hill's kind of the centerpiece there, but it was good for the whole team to kind of pull together and get that win against a good Township team.
Yeah, and if you're Manheim Township, you're trying to rebuild, no such thing as moral victories, I guess, but to be in a competitive game with Lebanon got to be a positive sign for them as well.
Yeah, and they really had some trouble in the second quarter and fell down by a few points at halftime and really came on strong in the third. A lot of teams kind of would, just fold it up and pack it in, especially after losing the first three games of the season the way they did, but they really came back and put up a fight.
Yeah. So over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be insanely busy. We have over the next 9 days, 5 games, including 3 this week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. What games are you looking at this week? Which games really stand out for you?
The biggest game this week might be one of the bigger games of the season. It's McCaskey going into Cedar Crest. They played 4 times last year. Cedar Crest won the league title over McCaskey in the final. McCaskey won a Section 1 playoff to win the section. So they've been going back and forth, and it's going to be another one of those games where it's kind of up in the air. And so far this season, McCaskey and Cedar Crest, the usual suspects, Alyssa Austin for Cedar Crest and Eric Parker for McCaskey, have been doing a lot of work inside, and both teams have guards who have been playing really well too. So that's going to be a very competitive game, and tell us a lot about how the Section 1 race is going to play out. Also in Section 1, it's Hempfield and Manheim Township, 2 programs, like we've said, trying to build something just to get the momentum. They're both kind of rebuilding a little bit. Hempfield looking to see kind of what they have after going to states last year. They've won a couple games, but they've lost a couple non-league games by a lot. So if they both those programs go in with a win or 2 this week, it's a good way to punctuate the week and kind of build going into the heart of the section schedule. And
really, when it's Hempfield and Township in any sport, it's going to be a good competitive game, because that's a rivalry in just about every sport you can think of. So, well, it sounds like it's going to be a big week in the LL League. Thank you, Tim, and thank you for joining us. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for all the news and information, and we'll see you next time.